Member for Melton.
Thanks, Speaker. I did jump the gun earlier, but we're relaxed now, so thank you. And I rise in response to this matter of public importance and moved by the member for Gippsland South. And I think I'm the last speaker from this side of the House, but this motion asks the House to condemn a government that's invested more in Victorian roads than any other government in our state's history. And it certainly asks Victorians to believe that the opposition suddenly has all the answers on roads, and we can hear it, all the expert advice over there on building roads. I thought he was a builder, I didn't think he was a road builder, but of course we had someone that painted lines on roads, so that was pretty important too. So, of course, this debate comes down to one simple question, and that's who do Victorians trust to deliver the roads that they need, and I'm certain that they trust our government over the opposition. Of course, we've invested $1.04 billion this year alone out of the budget and maintaining our roads, rebuilding the highways, repairing potholes, making roads safer. And again, I know how important it is with my background as a paramedic, how it is important in regard to having safe roads. And I know that we've also invested money in safer roads and given money to councils. I think it's on average about $2 million to all 79 councils to make roads safer and safety that prevents risk to drivers on the road. So that's really important. And of course, those opposite are saying that they're going to make a major investment in roads, but while they're saying that, they're also stating that they'll have $40 billion from the state budget, cut $40 billion, which doesn't seem to add up, that they're $5 billion in roads maintenance and then cutting $40 billion from their budget. Of course, at some point those promises collide with reality, and the reality is that when governments make cuts on at that scale, infrastructure suffers, maintenance suffers, communities miss out. We've seen it all before. We've seen their history before of what they've done. Our government has taken a completely different approach, and this year's budget invested, as I said earlier, $1.04 billion in road maintenance, and it's the highest investment Victoria has ever made. Of course, and that follows $1 billion each year in the previous two budgets, and again it also includes another $560 million announced this year to continue repairing, resurfacing and rebuilding roads across the state. And I drive the Western Freeway through to Ballarat most days, and I've got to say, while there might be some potholes, and generally it's due to rain and the massive trucks that are on the road damaging our roads, the travel is pretty good and very safe, and I've never had an issue with potholes on the Western Freeway all the way through to Ballarat. If it's past Ballarat that's the issue, then that may be the case, but I've never seen it. And of course our government's made real investments in improving our roads. Of course, the opposition and the facts that tell a different story. We have shown that crews have repaired more than 211,000 potholes, and they've resurfaced roads across the state. They've replaced thousands of road signs. They've repaired safety barriers, and the importance of those safety barriers have been, the importance of them, they've saved lives. And safety barriers that have been knocked down, obviously, has occurred because cars have run into them. But that has saved lives. It's been proven that it's saved lives. I know that motorcycle riders are against them, but again, they are a lifesaver. And yes, they have to be repaired, constantly repaired, and they're not an easy task to do. And of course, we've done the 50,000 kilometres of roadside vegetation to improve safety for our motorists. And this year, we're on track to repair another 200,000 potholes. And of course, it's not an exciting task, road maintenance. It's not very exciting. I don't know what line marking's like, but road maintenance is not very exciting, and it certainly doesn't generate headlines. But of course, there's always more to be done, and we'll continue to do it as a government that delivering on road maintenance and road repairs. And it takes time. It takes time, and it's a massive network to try and maintain. But of course, in having good roads, people driving to work, taking their kids to school, businesses running business, courier delivery, those sorts of things, it is important for all of us to have good road maintenance and good road safety. Of course, our government will continue to invest year after year in preventative maintenance, and it will save taxpayers money in the long run, and it delivers safer roads and reduces injury and death on our roads, of course. Let's compare the opposition's record, because they'd rather talk about today rather than talk about their history and what happened in the past. And the coalition... When you were in government, you didn't do anything in 4 years. So that's why you've been in opposition for such a long time.
Through the chair, member for Ilden.
Sorry, Speaker.
Melton.
Of course, the last time the coalition was in government, I know it's a long time ago, thank God, it cut around 450 Vic Roads jobs. It also cut $100 million from road maintenance. It slashed resurfacing targets across regional Victoria. And of course, that's just not rhetoric. They're the facts. That's the record. Maybe they don't remember that. I know, it's hard to remember when you haven't been in government for a long time, and you don't like to hear those facts, of course. Of course, if you cut budgets on roads, then they'll deteriorate, and we saw that during their time. And of course, when you lose those experienced staff that were road maintenance workers, as I say, the 450 positions, then that's going to take its toll also in maintenance of roads. Of course, the opposition's announced a multi-billion-dollar roads promise. And again, it sounds impressive until you start questioning, trying to seek some answers about it. Where's the money coming from? How do you fund billions in additional road spending while cutting $40 billion from the state budget? Which projects get defunded? Which communities miss out? None of those questions have been answered, or there's been no explanations in regard to how they're going to deliver their road maintenance program while they're going to have budget cuts, massive budget cuts. Even rural councils in Victoria have questioned that and tried to get answers in regard to the opposition's announcement, and they haven't got the answers. So, yet we hear the preaching in this House by the opposition about how they're going to support regional areas, but we can't get any accurate details in regard to what their plans are. I've got to talk about a couple of things in my electorate in regard to roads and things like that, and it's important where that some links come together, and we've just opened up and removed the 92nd level crossing at Ferris Road in Cobblebank. And I know a couple of weeks earlier, Hopkins Road level crossing was opened, and that was the 91st. And we've got another two in Melton happening, one at Exford Road and one at Coburns Road. And of course, the new Melton railway station that's opening up in September. So they'll all be open by the end of September. And the road network there, it just improves traffic flow and safety in Melton alone. And we've done a couple of big intersections in Melton in regard to upgrading the Coburns and High Street intersection from a massive roundabout where the busiest intersection in Melton has been improved by having a lighted intersection, and it's really important to have those sort of upgrades. Norton Drive and High Street, another important upgrade, and we continue to do that. There's constant work on our roads around Melton, and I know there was some reference from the member for Narrabeen saying that it's only metropolitan speakers that have got up on our side of the House and we wouldn't have a clue about regional roads. Well, that's not quite true. I have some regional roads in my electorate, within the Mirrabul Shire, at Bacchus Marsh, Hopeton Park, Parwin, those types of areas, Exford, Amesbury, and down towards Balan Road, where the member for Werribee spoke earlier, our lead speaker, and he has some regional and rural roads. So we do have that experience of not only metropolitan roads, we do have that experience of experiencing those other roads, not just metropolitan roads. This MPI, as I say, was put up by the member for Gippsland South, and
Member
I reject
for-
it. Thank you.